landed, checked into our hotel, with buildings tangled with greeneries. I could live here for a while if this view was for free. First stop was food. I found this bakery restaurant hybrid on RedNote that looked amazing online, but in real life, not really worth the hype. Afterwards, we went to one of those city walks that I also saved from RedNote. We saw what's considered as the first modern, fully functional steam-powered clock, which I didn't think I'd care about until I saw it in person. Like, honestly, pretty cool. We passed a lot of interesting buildings, and one that I noticed immediately is how many beautiful churches there are here. I thought we walked past the library, but it was closed. Still, the surrounding details made the area feel so historic, especially with the modern Cubism styles buildings that just casually exist right next to it. We walked down a street full of restaurants, looked at many menus, committed to none of them, and ended up at this gorgeous park that overlooked the city instead. There were so many geese, and most of them were running away from me like,
bro, so personal, yeah.
The water nearby looks so unreal with the sun setting. The boats across from the river, stones along the edge, people just sitting. Next, we headed towards Canada Place and the 𝓕𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, the big torch installation. There were water jets, which I haven't seen in a while up close, and a cruise ship nearby that made everything feel very official. While standing near the pier, we watched the seaplanes landing directly onto the water. We rented bikes instead, which seems like the next best decision, in my opinion. The park was massive, and the staff warned us that if you go further in, it's gonna be a one-way route. You gotta commit to that. So both my mom and I looked at each other, and we kind of silently agreed that
we don't have that kind of mental strength.
So we turned back early. I tried filming a time-lapse while biking, but my camera kind of stopped recording halfway through, so yep. That's all I got, really. We still didn't get the proper view of Canada Place before that because of all the cruise ships that were blocking the iconic white sails. After that, we went to Chinatown. Haha, surprise. Which is literally like a must for us when we travel because, yeah, the food is just very familiar. But this town over here is like so quiet. We found one restaurant that didn't look too sketchy and I ordered some 𝓕𝓸𝓵𝓵𝓵. When in doubt, 𝓕𝓸𝓵𝓵. Nearby there was a small island that was connected by a bridge with all of these shared bikes. So cool. In the center was a massive art installation called The Giants. What looks like some leftover industrial silos. We walked around the island, lots of birds. We also visited the indoor market on this island. There are like some giant strawberries, some really tiny strawberries, colorful cherries that I haven't seen since I left Hong Kong. Live performances happening everywhere. The whole place just feels so cheerful that it makes you forget your responsibility kind of thing. On our way back, we crossed another bridge and checked into our new hotel. One of the more modern ones that we stayed on this trip. Nearby, we found a grocery store selling water in heavy glass bottles. I remember they used to give out these for free pre-COVID in the Emirates Dubai Lounge, but I don't know about it now. For dinner, we went to 𝓕𝓸𝓵𝓵𝓵 because that's the only restaurant we recognize. Yeah, no further explanation. The next day, we boarded a day tour bus to a pickup point for our Victoria Island trip. Along the way, we saw people doing all kinds of water activities. While waiting for the ferry, we found one of the biggest cake pops I've ever seen. Literally larger than my usual meal portion. I've also tried the jalapeno hot dog for the first time, and I love spicy food, so it instantly joined my personality. Watching the bus drive onto the ferry was honestly quite terrifying. It felt like we were about to roll straight into the ocean. I didn't film much on the ferry, and I know I missed out on the whale because I fell asleep. We passed this massive hotel completely covered in flowers. I just can't stop staring at it. This entire city felt so carefully taken care of. We got off the bus for a short walking tour. Everything just felt so picturesque. Vintage chocolate shops, lampposts wrapped in flowers, restaurant decorated with flowers, everything flowers. Later, we went back to Chinatown where the guide explained how these narrow roads were preserved to show how they used to look like, to make things difficult for the authorities to navigate, for selling some dodgy stuff. Like,
you can fill that in with your imagination.
I got some 𝓕𝓸𝓵, which is so good. Like, literally, I forgot to film. That's how good it was. We retraced our steps and ended at this historic hotel for high tea. Apparently one of the most expensive ones, said the guide tour, so I was like naturally quite curious if it lived up to the hype. Like, just literally walking through the garden was so unreal. The sky was aggressively blue that day. I don't know why, but from where we were sitting, you could see all the yachts docked below. and the tea was just so beautiful. It actually tasted pretty good. Okay, I had to take out the ice over here because after that we visited this famous garden. Huge spaces with rose garden, Italian garden, and a Japanese garden. Aesthetically, the rose garden was my favorite. But if I had to live in anywhere of these gardens, it would have been the Japanese one. The bamboo, tall trees just gives the perfect shade in summer. It made me want to sit down and just rethink my life choices. There were ponds, fountains, and even gelato stands in the Italian garden. Mainly, a place like this year-round must require unimaginable dedication and money. As night fell, we drove back to the main island. In the distance, you could see tiny apartment lights scattered all across the dark. We checked into our new hotel. Quick fit check, I guess. I stole my mom's clothes. The next day, we saw some ducks, a giant bird statue, and finally explored the rest of the city, which includes the inside of the park that we backed out when we were on the bike. Towards the end of the park, there was this observation deck overlooking a bridge in the river below, with the boats leaving wide trails in the water. We went back to the Canada place one last time, as I said previously, and we finally saw the iconic white sail, unblocked this time. I even spotted what looked like two seals in the water. I don't know, it's kind of blurry, but it was so cute. We walked through the city one last time and stopped by at a McDonald's with this maple leaf logo, and then we headed to the airport. And just like that, we were on our way to the next destination. See you guys in the Seattle vlog.